welcome back to Planting Life Matters. It is spring 2023. I have not been out here in months and it's time to get started. So let's do this. So let's talk about a couple of things that I will be working on. Starting with this pathway in the very back, I finally was able to finish this area out as far as allowing me to walk around the complete garden without having to get to one section and turn around and go back. So now I can do a full walkthrough. Um, this will be my exercise plan. Just walk around the garden with my cup of coffees over and over and over each morning. And so back here, I'm still thinking this through, but I have about 120 more stones that I'm picking up so I can do both sides of the garden itself. I'm sorry, the pathway. And I'm not sure what I'm doing with these pots just yet. Last year I had purple fountain grass in a couple of them back here. And so I'm going to be adding something that will climb on this fence. It's not a very heavy weighted fence. It's a no dig fence that I picked up from Lowe's just to keep the dog enclosed in this area. This is her potty area. And so I am going to possibly put some blueberries or something up there. I don't know just yet. Anyway, I'm killing off some grass and I just out of nowhere 2 weeks ago decided, you know what? I want to add some shrubs all the way down this pathway on the opposite side. I already have some on one side. So let me turn around and you see the shrubs going down on the left. There's also red tip fatina trees that I planted last fall. The goal is to grow them and tree form them so I can have privacy because on the other side of that fence is some big time traffic and I don't know, let me do this. There's a field over there. So I don't know what will eventually end up on that side as well. I've been here 17 years, but they're still talking about developing that land. So I'm going to make sure I have a little more privacy added in. Now, in this area, I have a cardboard method of no dig flower beds that I'm planting. And so far, I have these shrubs that I've placed in, 8 of them, that are going to be in a very tight circular, maybe U-shaped form. So I won't be able to actually walk through there anymore from this end. I will enter in through the archway over there, but I would have to eventually stop, have a seat, whatever is happening in this little bitty circle area. I may remove that archway and put in a very small circular gazebo is what I'm thinking. And grow some jasmine. I have some star jasmine that I will be adding to it. I've already picked it up. If I don't do that, I'm just going to put the star jasmine, let me get over here, on this actual archway. And here's my Confederate star jasmine that will have beautiful, beautiful blooms that I'm going to grow up over here. Now, I am taking a bit of a risk because this is a dappled sun area. It gets sun on this side, but once these crepe myrtles start to leaf out, it will give a little bit more shade. I think I'll be okay because I have Carolina jasmine, or actually Carolina jessamine, the right way to say it. And it loves being in the same dappled area, so they are growing just fine. I think the risk that you take is getting less blooms, and I'm okay with that. I really love the foliage of a lot of vines and different plants, so either way I'll be happy. But the goal is to have a archway entrance that you walk through and it looks like a little secret room that you're entering, because when the crepe myrtles start to leaf out, and especially once they get the blooms on them, they start to um, get a little bit lower and they meet together and they create their own natural arch. So let's talk about some of the daffodils. Remember I planted all of those bulbs last fall and I did a video on that. They're coming through and they've been up actually for maybe a month or so. And but I still see new things coming in. I have some allium bulbs in here as well. I cannot remember if I planted tulips in here. So I'm really excited to just look out the back door at times. And let me try to get out of the sun. There we go. I really love looking out the back door and seeing pops of yellow flowers just pop up everywhere. So it inspired me to add even more for next year. And sometimes there may be only two or three amongst everything else that's still asleep. To me, it's just a nice little reminder that there's something new to come. I was talking to a very um, new gardener friend, and she said, people celebrate January 1st and as the new year, but truly it is the spring, March, because things are coming alive and it's the beginning of a new season. And I like looking at it that way. So, look, there's a few more just popping in and out, and it's not a ton. Even though I planted over 400 bulbs, it's very sparse. I realize now how some of these people plant 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 bulbs if you want that seriously full look. So I'll just start to add to them. And the good thing about the daffodils is that they naturalize and they return. So I'll add a little bit each year. But I got a lot going on, and I'm in the phase of cleaning out, clean up. I've done a lot of that. I didn't record it. Um, but I had so much to get done. It's really hard sometimes to get all that part recorded. Oh, let me remind you too. On this area, I had drift roses for the last couple of years. And my drift roses all got rosette. So I bagged up a total of 8 roses so far. And I have gotten rid of those. And I am now going to plant, well, I've already planted some purple daydream dwarf loropeplin. And so I picked these up. It's okay to put them in the ground after removing the diseased roses. It only attacks roses, so I'm safe to add something in. But what's cool about these, they're really small right now. They will get up to about 2 to 3 feet. And you see the little bitty red flower, kind of like a Chinese fringe. You may have heard of that more. Very similar. And I have them on both sides of the sidewalk. Same thing over here. Pulled out all the drift roses and replaced them with this. I'm not sure what else I'm doing with this bed just yet. I do have the lamb's ear still that's coming through. And I also have some salvia that's in there that's coming through as well later. So I just want to do a really quick rundown of what's going on. I'm going to be restaining both my pergolas. We got very bad hail damage. It's horrible. Um, Very bad stains on these. Normally, I don't care about stuff like that so much, if I'm being honest. I'm very rustic. I don't mind the natural look, but I kind of want to get them stained the same color as my fence that I'll be touching up as well. So I have a lot of big projects that are not necessarily planting going on, but just trying to sustain my investment is how I look at it. I have to tell myself I may not care about the look of the pergola, but I want to preserve the pergola. So I do need to reapply some stain in order to do that. Now, what's going to be tricky for this one, and I need to do this quite quickly. Well, the grapevines within 2 days have just started to really pop out. It took these grapevines probably 4 to 5 years before they took off and started climbing. And the goal is obviously to cover the entire pergola at one point. So how I'm going to stain around that, I have no idea. So who knows? We'll figure it out. Haven't turned on all the water fountains yet. Only the one in the front garden. The one in the back, I haven't. I'm going to be taking out some of the palm plants I picked up and planting them in the ground. I was shocked how well they did throughout the entire hot summer last year. I see an elephant ear. This thing was humongous, but look what's coming through. That is so tiny. It's probably, the leaf is no more than an inch. And it's amazing how that will be 8 feet tall. It reaches my roof line, that one particular elephant ear. So I did plant a couple more elephant ear bulbs around my fountains out in the back as well. I have some red fountain grass and different things I've been working. I'm gonna have to get to the front and show you guys all the tulips. I got red tulips everywhere. I'm so excited about what's to come. So I will be checking in a little bit later and so showing some progress of what's going on in the garden. I'm going to show you real quick a couple of things that's happening in the front that's coming through the bulbs that I planted. And then I will get back to you guys as the year starts to kick off. Thank you for hanging in there with me. And remember, as always, planting life matters.